So, my dear friends, thank you so much for having me on the third mini lecture on drafting the case study the teaching case study. In our last lecture, we are discussing how to select a contemporary and compelling topic that can attract the reader attention about the case study. So, while we'll be draft our working case study, teaching case study title, then it's time to move on writing the case or knowing something about how to draft or write the teaching case study. So, in case of teaching case study, there are two parts. At the first part, we can see the case study, and the second part you can see the teaching note. So the case study is such a document which is written by the authors, obviously, and the authors will write the case study based on the management dilemma of any organization. And definitely this document will be read by the students, or student will try to solve the problems and find the exact problems. And also this case study document will show the protagonist. I mean, you can find the protagonist here. So also, this case study document will be consist of 8 pages with the exhibition of many data, many supporting statistical evidences, and report published in different journals, sorry, different websites, their reports as well. On the other and the second part is about the teaching note. It consists of also 8 pages or more. Researchers or authors, they suggest within 16 pages or in between 5,000 to 7,000 words. Authors should complete writing the case study as well as the teaching note. So this teaching note document is basically used by the instructors only. So the instructors, while they will get the teaching case study, they will read the teaching note first. They will get the clear picture about the case, about the teaching plan and questions the teacher can offer the students to solve within the group. And also in the teaching note, there you can find the model answer. What are the assignment questions you have already mentioned, you can find there. So we'll be starting our today's discussion about how to draft the case study document. I mean, this document will consist of 8 pages, or what are the information should the case study contains in their body parts, or like these things. So the part one, we are discussing the case study writing process. I mean, what are the information should the case body contains? It will be starting by writing the title as it has been written in all the published documents at the bottom of the top of the page. Therefore, you can find the abstract. Abstract means you can write the abstract, but some authors or some case study, you can see also abstract at the bottom of the paper, published paper. I mean, teaching case study. So it has been written the key points here. I mean, for this section, what are the key issues we need to consider? You can find the case study consists of title, abstract, introduction, background, organization, main problem, pros and cons, supporting data, options, decisions, competition, upcoming problems, dilemmas, conclusions, or close case ending. So there are many points you can find, and it's not necessarily to follow any specific guideline for drafting the case study, because of while we draft or write research paper, there is a guideline. I mean, following mm, first of all, introduction, literature review, objectives, questions, hypothesis, methodology, analysis, discussions. But teaching case study does not follow any structure, but a simple guideline can help you to draft a good teaching case study. I mean, a simple teaching case study consists of only the 4 parts. It starts with the introduction, later on the case body, and the conclusion, and finally exhibits. So introduction, uh, that consists of some other points. I mean, you can find the introduction, and at the introduction section you can add background introduction, but main problem as well. It's not a big deal. So introduction consists of the things, opening paragraph, and then case, body, company background, specific area of interest, problem, alternatives, and solutions. Conclusions, there will be definitely a decision point where you can reach, and the authors will give the decision point here, but it's not mandatory that this decision point will be as similar as the decision point of yours or other members. So this is the structure of a case, and among all the things, in in the view of many scholars and authors of case studies, they have said opening paragraph of the case teaching case study is very important. I mean, yes, my point of view is that for publishing any document from any of the journal, opening paragraph is the, I mean, key weapon for grab the attention of the reviewers, readers, and many things. So in case of teaching case study, to make engage the students, opening paragraph definitely should have written with the dilemma, and definitely it should have a sentence with maintaining the hook. Now the question is hook. What is hook means? Hook means there will be something unique, and there will be something not even explored or not yet explored sentences, which can attract the readers, the students, or the things. So if I say at the time of COVID, only the rickshaw puller who didn't affect much. So people will be surprised. How come? Do I know that? Yes, I it's my observation, and I interviewed many people regarding this. So this might be a hook for drafting a case, and the opening paragraph should consist, definitely should uh, make clear about some questions. Whose respondent is the student to assume, who is the main protagonist, and who is the decision maker. I mean, in your case, who is the villain, or who is the hero of your case, and to whom you think yourself like him. And therefore, when did the case take place? I mean, the date and time period, and where did the take place? It's the location or the company which is situated. Later on, what is the nature of the problem or issue? I mean, the dilemma you have already mentioned in your case. Definitely, you should include it to the case opening paragraph. And finally, why did the problem issue? I mean, why the protagonist or the main character of the teaching case, he is thinking the reasons behind raising this issue and falling in a dilemma. So these are the things. Once an author want to write the paper teaching case study, definitely at the opening paragraph he should consider these things. And then the body paragraph or body of the case, what should we consider or keep, what policies or guidelines tips should we mention? So at the body of the cases, definitely write the whole story of your cases in a chronological order. I means it might be the it might be the base of the year, it might be following the sequence of the year, and many things. And of course, for supporting the story, you must need to input some of the business environment settings, company backgrounds, and specific issues, or some symptoms. What are the theories you have used? Some statistical viewpoints, some figures and photos. The photos you have collected from where, you must need to mention this. If you write and draw it by your own, that's not necessary to use anything. But if you collect the photo from the organization's website, you must need to take the consideration consent from them. And of course, try to maintain and write down the two parts theory. I mean, at the first part, the interviewer, and the second part, the other interviewers. And in between these two employee, where there is a conflict, you must need to collect interview from both parties. I mean, you need to explore the real scenarios as well. So what languages should the case study adopt? Definitely past tense need to, because of the thing has already been happened few days back, few years back, and the objective definitely should be in a third person case. I mean, you need to think yourself as the case protagonist, so definitely it should be the third person. And end note and footnote, definitely if you collect data from any of the links, any of the comments, any of the LinkedIn blog, from where company analysis report, you need to mention this as a footnote, or you can add it to the reference as well. And finally, international audience, you need to focus on international audience. And then one thing should you consider about, well, not one thing, there are some considerable issues for drafting the case body. While you will draft the case body, you should follow these guidelines: inception or foundation. I mean, from when and from which date the company has started their journey, and from where and from when the dilemma has been raised. Use number, facts, and figures. Yes, in writing the case, you can use the numbers, facts, and figures, many things you can, as much as possible. And then timeline of history, use graphical illustration if it is possible to draw something with the graphical illustration. It's welcome, definitely. If it is possible to use some frameworks using SWOT analysis, Porter's five forces model, F4A, Rogers innovation approach, pull and push theory, effectuation theory, Ansoff model, pastel analysis. So many model we frequently teach students in the classroom setting. So any of the model you can use for, and you can relate the model to your study. And then table figures, graphics, as much as possible you can use, and use photos as well. Yes, you can photo, and to get updated financial markets. Yes, financial markets and scenario revenue can help to support and write the case study, teaching case study. So maybe these are the basics of drafting, case body, case structure. So these are the overall and big scenario of the parts of the case study. So this is the first part we have already discussed. The document which started of opening with a hook, and therefore the protagonist problems will be mentioned, management dilemma will be there, and you can add many pages. It's not many pages, 8 pages, and consist of maximum 3,000 words for writing the case study. So the next part is about the teaching note, which is very important, very important. So I need to definitely take another session about the teaching case study. But at the this slide, I would like to show you a little bit about the teaching note. Teaching note is the document that consists of, 7 parts. These 7 parts are very important, and also need to ensure that teaching note is not for the students or learners. Basically, teaching note is for the faculty members, for the instructors. The teaching note consists of eight, seven stages, seven components. The first, uh, according to the Emerald case journal, EMCS, Emerging Market Case Journal, and the case journal based on their guidelines, there are 7 parts. The first one is teaching note, starts with the case synopsis for the lecturer. While the teacher or faculty member will find the teaching case study, he or she will not read the full case for 6 or 7 pages. So he will read the synopsis of the case. That means the summary of the case, and definitely within the summary of the cases, definitely I will give a PDF, or you can find a PDF at the Emerald Case Book, Case Hub there, regarding case lectures and many things. Okay, so at the case synopsis, it consists organization, industry, country, time spans, protagonist, with the protagonist dilemma, and academic focuses as well. The second part is about the teaching learning objectives. It is about what are the outcomes of the learning teaching case or teaching case study to the students. What can the case teach? How the teachers can relate this case outcomes or objectives with the Bloom taxonomy as well. And then target, the third point is about the target audience. I mean, who will be target audience? What degree level should you prefer? Level, courses, difficulty, prerequisite, and discipline relevance. So you need to address this all the things in the target audiences part. And later on, the objectives, learning objective definitely should, if the case is very silly and simple but contemporary, so one case objective, teaching learning objective can be enough, but two, three, four case objectives are realistic. And definitely the focus of the objective should be understanding, analyzing, evaluation, and application. I mean, all the action verb is related to the Bloom's taxonomy as well. And later on, you can find the research methods in the teaching note. The number, serial number of the points is 5. Teaching methods, what are the data sources from where you have collected the data? I mean, it's primary or secondary. uh, of course, data gathering, I mean, how you can gather the data, which method you have used. I mean, interview or recording, or I mean, written document, you have collected data from him. And ethics, each of the methods, any of the methods, whichever you, which one will you use for collecting data, definitely you need to follow the ethical concern and ethical consumption. And finally, disguise details. It means that if any of the protagonists does not want to show their name or mention their name properly, I mean, if the protagonist name is Mr. Peter, and if he does not like to provide the full name, you can use the word only P. So it's called disguised name. And then the next part of teaching note is assignment questions. You need to write 3 to 5 assignment questions for your students, and definitely these two questions should be open and ended questions. They can write by their own, and definitely their answer might not be similar as you mentioned. That's totally depend on the case learning setting as and you teaching style. And teaching plan should mention there within 19 minutes at the which point of your class lecture you are submitting, you are giving them the case study, and within 90 minutes how many times, how much times are students are engaging, and students are trying to solve the case. That's necessary, and how within 90 minutes it's possible to teach the students about the case. Later on, the next point is supporting materials. I mean, you must need to address in your teaching note regarding the suggested core readings and the references. What are the different sources the students or learners can get knowledge about that. And then finally, analyze the assignment questions. I mean, at the point number 6.1, as the authors have already written some questions. What are the different questions you have used there? You need to answer all the questions possible, answer all the questions in the supporting material part with detailed answer, including all the exhibit, table, figure, and many things. And finally, epilogue postscripts or key summary of the case. What that means, after writing the full case, this case needs to evaluated by the students, and it would be mentioned at the end of your textbook. So for teaching them and getting the concept easily, a short version of the case study has been drafted. This is called epilogue or postscript. We always find and figure it at the figure this case at the exam questions, and each of the chapter they focus on a specific case regarding and relating to the dilemma or problems. So these are the points that includes a good teaching note, synopsis, learning objectives, target audiences, research methods, teaching plan, assignment questions, model analysis and answer, exhibits, process scripts, etc. So if all of the points mentioned in the teaching note, it will be a great teaching note. So finally, before ending the slide of today's lecture about the case study, we need to mention some facts or final thoughts regarding the case, which is your case needs to focus on the international audiences and definitely keep their I mean places to your mind, and definitely before drafting the case study and from where you want to submit the case, definitely read the guidelines about writing the case. And if it is possible to take help from the professional proofreading services is good, but sometimes it cost money. And get you teaching note tested with students while you will be completing of drafting your case study. It would be good if you provide this document to your students to solve the problems and find the real answer from the cases. It would be good. And get advice from your colleagues in the write up. I mean, from your colleagues you can collect the data, or you can take help from them as well. So that's all about the case. I mean, this is the simple guidelines of drafting case study. So these three different parts will help you. There are some guide, there are some case journals where cases are frequently published. Among all these, there are two journals from MIL publishers. I'm feeling very drowsy and feeling very tired, you know. So emerging case study market and journal, these two journals are very renowned nowadays. They're working great as well. So these are the sources from where you can collect the case and many things. So thank you so much. And before moving to the next point, I would like to share one thing. I don't know it's easy. I don't know. Give me a few seconds. Download. There is a teaching guide to teaching. So you can download this document from the MRL Case Hub Studies, how to writing a teaching note. So this document is very effective for the faculty members who can help and get the guideline from right teaching case study. I have already mentioned all the things in my slide as well, so you can find. And also there are some other options. I mean, to get the real case, if you see emerging market case studies, then emerging market, yes, you can find the sample case from here. Sample case from here you can download and get the clear picture about drafting a good cases building the right. Yes, it consists of 23 pages. I don't know how many words. And so that's all about the case study lecture, and hopefully we'll be discussing at the later part about drafting a full case body and everything. From now and then, until then, Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum. Stay safe and stay happy.